There are a lot of people who committed some heinous felonious offenses that have been given parole by the president, especially when Buhari was there. You see, Boko Haram repentant suspects. They say they will retrain them and then dump them into the army. Boko Haram, people you know were out to destroy and harm and kill people. But what is the offense of Nnamdi Kanu? Let us even say. What is his offense? People will now say, did this man go for kidnapping? The answer is no. Did he murder anybody? The answer is no. Did he rape anybody's wife? The answer is no. Did he go for armed robbery? The answer is no. What then is his offense? He says, we are being marginalized. My people are being marginalized. Since you don't want us in this confederation called Nigeria, we want to have our own nation. And I will go about this thing by referendum. I want people to vote whether they want to stay in Nigeria or not. This thing the man is saying is allowed under international law. Like I said, it's also allowed even under our Nigerian constitution. So what is so special about what is clamoring?
Yes, depending on your time zone and location. Because everybody on for this video from actually settle all down, watch this video. Rapid watch this video. If I will concerning Ipe Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and what is going on underground that some of you now know about. You want to see this video, you got what are the reason why Muhammadiya never the way concerning Ife Merina courts. The last time Mazen Nnamdi Kanu be a court, the man just highlighted some things. We quote the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will raise that kind of alarm or raise in a court concerning Bintan Yako's husband and the child being charged for fraud or something like that. We quote now Bintan Yako, enyego Bintan Yako a tax. Na obu na oga succeed in jailing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Na die na nwa ya nwoke ga dey free. One day, watch your video. If you see this video, you get some points and some things that is happening. And the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu we did this open letter to the general public. We will see that now Nigerian government mishandle his issue. So watch the video from beginning to the end. Drop one more opinion in the comment section. Ikabaro. Share on this video can also so you can find me. Watch out the rest of the video, guys. I'll be right back.
Is that it is no more prosecution of a suspect. Let me put it that way. It's no more prosecution of a suspect. It is now persecution of a suspect. Because why do I say it is persecution? Persecution is saying that number one, you have an illegal act which you committed to bring Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. That is rendition. It is illegal, both under international law and our own law. But then it happened under Buhari. And Buhari, like all we know, is a man of rendition. He tried to rendition Umar Diko, where he was a military head of state. But the ego eye of British police, the American police, I think it was American police also, I think British, they caught him and then opened the crate. Lo and behold, it was Umar Diko that was created in a crate, about to be taken back to Nigeria, or a diplomatic bag. Because according to Buhari, he was indicted in a military tribunal that was set to try politicians who held sway in Nigeria between 1979 and 1998, the when they had their coup. Now, they tried the same thing with Nnamdi Kanu. A plane flew into Kenya, got Nnamdi arrested. Whatever way they used to hypnotize and put him into a plane and bring him to Nigeria, only them knows. Even though Kenyan government says they are not even aware that the plane came to Nigeria, but that is also a falsity, because every plane that takes off from any airport in the world
has a destination.
Yes, it's known. Just like a ship. Any ship that takes off from any port in the world, there is a monitoring mechanism for ships, just like they are for planes. So telling us that they don't know that plane came to Kenya and took Nnamdi Kanu is neither here nor there. But let us leave Kenya out of it. Let us look at the people that orchestrated the mass rendition to Nigeria. Now, having been rendition to Nigeria, the question is, what stops you, assuming you have renditioned them illegally? And you can recall also that there are about 1 or 2 court orders or court judgments telling them to release Nnamdi Kanu. And in all these things, the federal government has never faulted. Either way, they will say they will draft a new charge. If court charges you of a given charge for which you were arraigned in court, and you are still kept by the security agencies 1 minute after that order, it's an illegal detention. And if you sue for it, for false imprisonment, you could recover in damages. But this one, nobody cares. They bring the man, they try him, they discharge him, they say they hold him, they bring another charge tomorrow. So these things are things why the man now has to take the laws into his hands. But what will be the implications of this in judicial terms? Because I'm sure
if it doesn't have a consequence, it should have. There must be an effect of this. Do you think, because you analyze now that it looks like no judge wants to accept the case, so is it more like saying that this is the dead end for the trial?
No, it is not. See, the implication is that the man has thrown himself into the court of public opinion. Let the world see what is happening with me. And you can jolly well know that this letter did not just stop in Nigeria. This letter has gone viral. It is almost all over the world. World leaders have seen the letter. And they know. And they find out that you are measured as a national leader by your respect for human rights. If Tinubu as a president, if I am to advise him, but at the very first onset of his administration, if I were to be his legal advisor, what I could advise him is to order the release of all those people being tried on self-determination charges. Because ordinarily, under both international law and national laws of the states, it's not a crime. If somebody says, I want to live where I belong, even the Nigerian constitution gives freedom of association. So what I'm saying in effect is that if the president has been advised rightly, I think what he could have done in the first thing, that when he was releasing Igboho and the other Mietiala young man, he could have also said, Nnamdi Kanu, go home and see no more. If you want to carry out your demand for self-determination, follow international best practices. There are guidelines. Go to the United Nations, seek two-thirds majority, or find any of the Security Council henchmen, the one that once they can veto anything, get just one. Let that one come and speak on your behalf, on the behalf of the country you're asking for, under the United Nations Charter. Then go and organize a referendum in your own area. Let us know how many people want to leave, how many people don't want to leave. So, but you also find out that people are saying that the rumor mills making the rounds is that the stakeholders in the southeastern part of Nigeria, in fact, eastern region of Nigeria, doesn't also want Nnamdi Kanu released.
Yeah, that's a very disturbing thing to. I mean, it's moving around, but in what way would they be benefiting from his continuous detention?
Yeah, let me tell you how they would be benefiting. You see, there are two groups of people that control the masses: the state actors and non-state actors. The state actors are the ones purportedly, in bracket, voted into power. They are the state actors. Non-state actors are like people like Nnamdi Kanu and the NGOs. They are the non-state actors. Now, you will find out that most of the time, if the non-state actors gives a directive, people obey it to the letter, including this sit at home that I refuse to go in the southeast. Even if the urban areas now don't observe sit at home, we go to the villages, they are all sitting at home on Mondays. No school opens. The teachers will tell you it is better I will be alive and my salary deducted than I'll be a dead person and nobody pays me anything. So you find out that who gave that instruction for sit at home every Monday? Not state actors. Now state actors have said, disobey it, come to work. I will deal with you if you don't come to work. Yet they are still being disobeyed. So there is likelihood that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, he will rupture the political setting for some of these state actors.
So could this be the reason why it is convenient for the federal government to keep him in detention?
Oh, see, the federal government, Tinubu as a president, doesn't drink beer with me in the streets of Zikebene. He doesn't chill with us in ShopRite, but he stays in Asorok. Whatever he needs is in Asorok. So he's fed. The information he's giving, where he's sitting, is the information he's going to work with. If they tell him, no, if the man comes out, nobody is safe in the southeast, he will believe them because they are the people who get access to him. Me and you doesn't have access to Tinubu. But the state governors of the eastern region, beginning from Enugu to Bayelsa, they have access to the government, to the president. The ministers, including the former minister of, including the equipment minister of, what do you call it, works, and the equipment minister of federal capital territory. You know, these are people who doesn't want to hear about Nnamdi Kanu. Even when the minister of works was the governor of Ebonyi State, he will tell you Ebonyi is not part of Biafra. So if these people are there, surrounding the president, you just know that the president will always listen to them, thinking that they have the voice of the people, not knowing that they don't.
So one will deduct from the letter Nnamdi Kanu is writing for public opinion to help him, or maybe the whole discussion will now sway the hand of justice. Is that what it is?
No, well, I think, first of all, it is the public opinion to assist. The hand of justice has a procedure. The open letter is not filed in court. So court has no need court cannot make use of something that is not before it.
Well, obviously, he didn't intend that to be
in the court.
I think there is an adage around here about that, about an animal crying, not to be saved, but for the whole to hear him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what outcome do you think Nnamdi Kanu is expecting with what he did at the court last week and the letter he also wrote on the 14th of February?
What he's expecting is political solution to his problem.
So has he said that? Is he plainly asking for that?
No. You see, one thing is that, remember, Nnamdi Kanu most of the time has said, if I have accepted to have an oil well, I could have still been released. If I have accepted to abandon the Biafran struggle, I could still have been released. If I had accepted to be the vice president, the of the presidential candidate, I could still have been released. But these things does not inure to the comfort of my people, and that is why I rejected it. So when you follow most of the things the young man say, you find out that they want that kind of. Remember, Wazirike was incarcerated. Do you remember? Somewhere along the line, Wazirike, cottoned, and that gave rise to the rise of Nnamdi Kanu. Now Nnamdi Kanu was rendition. That gave rise to Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa was detained in Finland. That gave rise to Mrs. Orabweze. Orabweze now also finding some. If you follow this Biafran trend, you find out how the scenario works. Most of this is on social media. You read them up. Now, what I'm saying in effect is that keeping Nnamdi Kanu ad infinitum in detention doesn't even help anybody. Rather, to be painting the federal government as a government that does not respect human rights. Remember, they also clamped down on Showere. Showere is also not. Showere not talking about self-determination. He's talking about in Nigeria, just like P2B. But he thought his own in an activist way. So that was why he was arrested. And trying to say this is wrong. The IG's continue staying in office is illegal and so on. So they clamped on him, charged him for one offense or the other. And the condition is not going to fulfill the condition because the condition has been outlawed by the Court of Appeal, telling people to bring civil servants. Now, Showore, I think he's not in detention for now. Deletun has also raised his voice, crying for this kind of torture and abuse of human rights. And he was also detained briefly. And the detention now saw the sale of his books. So, the same way, this is Nnamdi Kanu's detention. The federal government is indirectly making Nnamdi Kanu an eternal hero of the Biafran struggle. That is how I see it. Because if you keep on detaining the young man, what you are telling the world is that he is the arrowhead of a group of people who want to leave Nigeria. And the world now know that he exists. But if you have played the kind of Obasanjo, John Wazirike's time, people would have forgotten about Nnamdi Kanu by now. So they are indirectly popularizing the man by keeping him perpetually in detention. So whoever doesn't know about him, I cannot know about him. But if they have brought him from Kenya, maybe try him for 2-3 weeks, 1 month, and then give judgment that, like I've given the judgment that he has committed no offense and let him go. But whatever he does, whether he does it within the ambits of the law. By now, some people could have said who is Nnamdi Kanu by the way. So, but for the fact that they kept keeping the young man in detention, they are soaring his popularity. They don't know indirectly. Because if I was talking about the Obasanjo syndrome, to Wazirike called for sit-at-home when Obasanjo was in power. And the foreign press called on Obasanjo, was asking Obasanjo, we thought this issue of Biafra had been arrested. One young man has arisen again and said, let people sit at home, and everyone sat at home. Even that day, Tinubu, Tinubu was still the governor of Lagos State. He was forced to appear on national television begging the Igbos to come and open their shops, even by 4 p.m. when Wazirike called for sit-at-home. Now, Obasanjo was cornered by the foreign press. He told them he doesn't know about the sit-at-home. Now, what he knows is that the Igbos were celebrating their New Year festival. So people laughed over it. And when Wazirike called for a second sit-at-home, nobody obeyed him because he was never detained. Obasanjo just ignored him. So, do you see how Obasanjo and kicked the man? Now, Buhari is usually crude way, felt that detention is always the best option for everything. It doesn't. It doesn't work like that. This is where I'm going. If the people in the southeast are nonchalant and that they have not come as a united force, excuse me, to say we want this young man released. See, there are a lot of people who committed some heinous felonious offenses that have been given parole by the president, especially when Buhari was there. Excuse me. You see, Boko Haram repentant suspects. They say they will retrain them and then dump them into the army. Boko Haram, people you know, were out to destroy and harm and kill people. But what is the offense of Nnamdi Kanu? Let us even say. What is his offense? People will now say, did this man go for kidnapping? The answer is no. Did he murder anybody? The answer is no. Did he rape anybody's wife? The answer is no. Did he go for armed robbery? The answer is no. What then is his offense? He says, we are being marginalized. My people are being marginalized. Since you don't want us in this confederation called Nigeria, we want to have our own nation. And I will go about this thing by referendum. I want people to vote whether they want to stay in Nigeria or not. This thing the man is saying is allowed under international law. Like I said, it's also allowed even under our Nigerian constitution. So what is so special about what he's clamoring for? From what Igbo was clamoring for in the West, Southwest, or what some of the people in the North are clamoring for?